Well,
you
it feels
know?
like the music industry specifically has almost celebrated and encouraged excess. I mean, the more I mean, look at the music videos of these guys. It's all let's make it rain. It's throwing money around. It's
It's
women.
been
It's
like that
wealth. It's
forever in
power.
rock and roll,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
Yeah,
always been that, and that's the image. And the thing is, I mean, there's a level of entertainment to that where it's not really real, but people
right,
believe it is. But then there's some people who make it real, and they
right.
actually start believing the hype and the entertainment of it. I guess I compare it to like an actor or somebody that played a role in a movie and then is trying to play that role in real life. Like the
Right.
roles on your songs aren't always necessarily you. Otherwise, you'd probably be in prison. I mean, we're talking about people, Jay Z, and this is where I think a lot of people start to wonder, is there something to this? I mean, look at some of your lyrics. Look at some of the ways you acted. I mean, he has the anthem "Big Pimpin'." You know, I thug him, F him, love him, leave him because I don't F him, need him, take him out the hood, make him leave him good because I don't effing need them. That's the
Right,
lyrics. It's
right,
not exactly pro women. It's not exactly, it's just completely male dominated. Money, power, you're worthless. So yeah, when that's your anthem, people are going to think twice about you being, super, great towards women. Granted, your wife is Beyonce, but you're not exactly, Mr. Dad looking over here. And I did find it interesting in his letter denying everything, playing the victim card a bit of, I have to go sit down with my daughter and talk about this and explain to her our people are going after money and power and how horrible it is. I get if you're innocent, that would be horrible. I can't imagine having to
right.
sit down with my kids or my daughter if somebody was making that accusation against me. That would be horrible. And if that's the case, yeah, totally feel it. But I have to say at the same point, sit down and explain to her why you thought it was a great idea to go on tour with R. Kelly, make a couple albums with him, and call it the best of both worlds after we'd already seen his video of him with the Soul Train Award in the background while he's raping a child.
Yep.
Um, that's another part of this. And I think historically, half of the people don't even know that's how that occurred in that timeline.
Right.
That R. Kelly became an even bigger star after he was acquitted, but we saw a video of him raping a child. Um, and everybody's like, yeah, we like his music. It's good. It could have just been record companies back then. It could have been the money and the power. It doesn't mean that Jay-Z was involved in anything that R. Kelly was doing in his trailer. Um, but the fact is, you chose to align yourself with someone like that in a very close way. That is going to get you more scrutiny and more people asking more questions. Like, how innocent are you in all of this that you were completely unaware of these things? Because I'm sorry, some of this stuff, especially the R. Kelly, everyone knew. He knew.
Right.
Everyone knew.
Yeah,
And you
and
still chose
and
to be there.
exactly. And this is one of those things where you kind of look back in terms of, and it's interesting because it's always relating to how we are evolving as a society,
Hmm.
right? Like if you look at all of John Hughes' old great movies that you and I
Hmm.
loved growing
Yeah,
up, 16 Candles, like Breakfast Club, like they're all rape culture shit.
they are.
You could not make those movies now, and it goes the same with lyrics and songs, how women have been treated and portrayed and spoken about forever.
Yeah.
It's a very recent occurrence that men who run this country, old white guys, pulled their head out of their ass and decided, okay, like women have a voice and we're hearing them, and we can't do and say that shit anymore
Mhm.
because it ain't right. You,
No.
you know what I mean? And so when you had all these guys, Diddy's age, Jay-Z's age, when they're young and they're making their music in that era when
Hmm.
that shit was
Yeah.
acceptable, and again, I'm using air
Yeah.
quotes, like you then have to try to delineate between what's them's just words, it's art, and what's true.
Yeah.
Which dovetails into the whole YSL thing where it wasn't necessarily relating to, the mistreatment and abuse of women as much as they were running a gang and just doing that gang shit.
Yeah.
and they're being tried on the lyrics of their songs, and you're trying to figure out how much of it is based in fact
Mhm.
and how much of it is just flights of fancy, them's just words type shit. So I mean, because you have to know, again, like harkening back to what we were just talking about, when you have this situation where this kind of just insane wealth, where the world is your, if like you want to get on your private jet and fly to Paris
Mhm.
for a night, you do it. It's like you just don't live by the same rules
Mhm.
that the rest of us do. It's the kind of money that would like that normal people can't even contemplate. It's like your life is completely different.
Yeah.
Like ever from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed is nothing like what normal society is dealing with on a daily
Yeah.
basis. So you just like, and it's certainly no excuse. Like what it is that it is to blame,
Mhm.
because the money and the power just corrupts the fuck out of people, and you become like this. You create this mindset that, look, I am bulletproof. I can fucking get away with anything. So it's like when we're talking about those videos that you'd watch, man, that shit was for sure happening. Like those, like you see all those videos out by the pool with half naked women walking around, fucking crystal popping everything. That's exactly what that life was like.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a video.
No.
They were making videos based on what the fuck was happening in real life. There's
Exactly.
no doubt about that.
Yeah.
We got the whips, we got the cribs, we got all the fucking women, and we're raging.
Yeah.
And anything go. So it's like, yeah, dude, this thing is gonna be unreal, because it's like it's just not going to stop, because when you get into the guest lists on these things, it then becomes the Fed's prerogative to try to figure out, okay, well, how often were you a guest?
Mhm.
And just, when you were a guest, what type of guest were you? You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Were you invited for a particular purpose, or were you invited because you're a homie?
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's going like, aside from whoever these dudes grew up with, who are their ride or dies, who's their true entourage, their an inner circle. It then becomes all the other dudes,
Yeah.
and that are of the same wealth category, doing the same shit in terms of entertainment, that you're going to start becoming friends with, because you're running in the same shit.
Mhm.
It's like you'll have your guys that you grew up with, but you're also going to have your new friends that are from the wealth, and
Mhm.
those people have the same type of wealth. So it creates this really weird situation where everybody's just kind of in the same orb of, just, we can do it all,
Yeah.
like the world is our oyster, like what, we could do whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's just like, this thing, man, is, if they hit the home run on Diddy, and they get that guy convicted, I mean, man.
I guess one of
Phew.
the big questions I have on this, and I'm curious to get your thoughts, uh, is Diddy going to flip on some of these people in exchange for maybe a lesser sentence and say, because the feds, they're going to try and cast the widest net they can and get more people in if they're easily targeted and easy to get. So if he's like, yeah, okay, this did happen, he was part of it, he was part of it, they were part of it. Uh, in exchange for something lesser, like I said, do you think that's going to take place? Because they could probably get a hell of a lot more people named here. But it would be Diddy snitching on people.
Well,
But I don't know. I don't
that's
know.
what I was going to
I
tell
don't
you,
know that
man. Why
Diddy's
don't you?
above that.
I want you to Google right now, while we're recording. Does he have any lyrics about snitches get stitches? Like
Yeah.
I want to fucking know. I want to know, because if he's not an idiot and he cares about self preservation, he'll flip immediately. Like
Yeah.
we don't know that he already hasn't flipped. Like
That's
he's
true.
got no. Like that's the thing. It's like when I was talking about kind of like your old friends and your new friends, he's not going to have that kind of loyalty
Mhm.
to his new friends that he would have with his ride or dies, his homies that he grew up with, that were with him when he was in high school and struggling and making his way up, and as he, I mean, his true like entourage, like those people that were kind of newcomers to the world that are similarly situated, who have the ability to hire really good lawyers. I mean, if it's going to help him, you have to know
Yeah. Well,
that he's because, like, dude, that's like this is federal. So what
yeah.
they do in federal cases is what they call a proffer,
Hmm.
and proffers are like, all right, we're going to sit down with you, okay, and this is your opportunity to really, really help yourself. But the only way that you do that is two ways. One, you have to be truthful about every goddamn thing that you tell us, and we're going to vet it all. And you got to give us something. Like if you do these things, it can help you immensely. No,
Hmm.
no, and the feds never, at least in all the occasions that we've done proffers, they don't put it in writing.
Hmm.
All right, this is like we'll tell you that we're going to do it. You're just going to have to take our word for it,
Hmm.
But you need to start talking. You're sitting in there with your lawyer. The lawyers are always present for the proffers, and you spill. So like there's without question going to be proffers in this case. But what they want to do is like if I'm the feds, I'm holding off on the proffer until I just keep amassing shit
Hmm.
against him to get like that. Like the more pressure that you apply to him, which will obviously entail the more evidence you have against him, the more charges you can bring
Hmm.
against him, the more likely you're going to be able to squeeze information out from him. So, like it's just, but then you like, like it's so nefarious that you immediately start thinking about like Epstein type shit. Like you're
Yeah.
talking about people with great wealth, great power. I mean, does this guy end up committing suicide? And I'm using air quotes for the third
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
during this conversation because he has way too many goddamn secrets to tell,
Hmm.
and people are not going to allow him to do it. And it's like I mean, when you kind of think about that whole concept, like if you were in his orbit and like you went to a few of these parties and you hung with this dude, you're freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to go through all your text messages and be like, did I ever say anything that could be misconstrued by the
Yeah.
feds to
Yeah.
this dude via text? Like, was I in the wrong place at the wrong time? Like, what events are they looking at? Was he filming that? Was I like, what did I do with that?
Yeah.
It's like all that shit's going through your mind, dude.
Yeah.
It's what a clusterfuck,
And
man.
if you blacked out drunk during any of those,
Oh
you better,
man,
you're really wondering
dude,
what took place.
dude. Like
Um,
me in my bourbon days, holy shit. I'd be like, oh my God, I don't fucking remember any
yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah,
Like, thank God I quit drinking.
yeah, yes, no, it's
And
there.
thank
There's
God I never hung around with Diddy.
exactly, yeah. I mean, there's just so many questions as to all of it. It's almost like a race of to who's going to fess up first to what happened to try and get some sort of immunity. Whether it's Diddy throwing somebody under the bus, or there's somebody that was there throwing him under the bus, going, "I'll help you with your case if you don't go after me," even though I may or may not have done anything wrong. Um, yeah,
Shoo.
yeah. The floodgates are opening.
Only time will tell, my friend.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.